trial, a travesty of court processes. Not only that, Buhari regime lurks around the trump of charges against Sheikh Zakzaky and his wife in open and flagrant violation of their fundamental rights, but also abuses court processes in a blatant way by doing that. This is glaringly obvious considering the fact that the charges against the Sheikh centers on aiding and abetting his followers for culpable homicide of one corporal in Kaduna. And the same Kaduna State Judiciary has already discharged and acquitted those forcefully accused of committing it. This is the third Kaduna High Court to pass judgment on the same and similar case. It's more than enough a proof of it being an abuse of court process. The public are aware that the spurious charges were filed in 2018 to divert people's attention away from a federal high court judgment delivered by Justice Gabriel Kolawole in December 2016, and the historic judgment ordered for unconditional release of Sheikh Zakzaky and his wife, Madam Azina. It was not to be, and instead of a regime to obey it, the much vaunted tyrant in the driving seat decided to arraign the couple at Kaduna High Court. Isn't this a continuation of the army bloodbath that took place in December 2015? And the police have long since taken over. As far as the judgment is concerned, Buhari has not observed a single minute in an attempt to pay obedience. Buhari is the architect of the massacre in Zaria, as well as the senseless and incessant killing of Free Zakzaky protesters in Abuja and across the country at large. During Zaria massacre, the Nigerian army butchered at least 1,000 people in cold blood. Sheikh Zakzaky's elder sisters and dozens of other women and children were flung into a room locked from behind, dust in foil, and set ablaze. These brutalities were initially wrought under the pretext of road blockade and that of assassination attempt. But in his maiden media chat, the tyrant Buhari falsified the two ridiculous pretexts and sought to justify the carnage with his equally naive, far more laughable conjecture of creating a state within a state. An update on the health of Sheikh Zakzaky and his wife Zina is worth the public attention. And the news is always very sad and distressing as their health continues to deteriorate. In the last sitting, on 24 February 2020, the Kaduna High Court affirmed that the couple were unfit to stand trial. So, an order was given by Justice Gideon Kurada directing the officials of the Kaduna prison to grant the Sheikh and his wife access to their doctors, but all to little or no avail. Sheikh Zakzaky is being affected by progressive glaucoma, cervical spondylosis, and up to 55 bullet fragments with excessive lead and cadmium poisoning in his body. He has been suffering from sleep disorder, recurrent spiking hypertension, recurrent episodes of stroke, and just few days ago, his cardiac ischemia and ventricular hypertrophy were found to deteriorate. He is now even requiring cardiac catheterization, thereby making him far more unfit to stand trial. It should be noted that the Sheikh has already suffered 2 strokes in as many years while in detention. Both Sheikh Zakzaky and his wife need urgent and critical intervention to salvage their health. There is a serious lack of evidences from the part of the Buhari regime and continues to exploit and abuse court processes for sinister motives. There is a serious lack of evidences from the part of the Buhari regime and continues to exploit and abuse court processes for sinister motive. Taking such things into consideration, coupled with the health condition of Sheikh Zakzaky and his wife, it is a mockery of justice as well as travesty of court processes for Kaduna High Court to continue the purported case against the couple. We therefore reiterate our demand for unconditional release of Sheikh Ibrahim Zakzaky and his wife Zina. Discharged and acquitted about 200 brothers that were being incarcerated for more than 4 years and accused of committing this culpable homicide. And the reason why they are trying Sheikh Zakzaky is that they are alleging that Sheikh triggered what happens. He triggers those brothers that were being discharged and accused. So no reason, there is no reason. This regime has failed. They have totally failed. They have no reason to continue with the case. Abdullah Muhammad Musa, for Affairs Forum of Islam.